Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and let's talk about Pokemon Go today. Mostly just the features that we know are going to be in the game, because recently at South by Southwest we actually got to see gameplay that shows something that no one really expected, and I wanted to clarify some misinformation, misconceptions, as well as just make sure everyone is on the same page about what's going on with Pokemon Go right now. So this is everything you need to know about Pokemon Go, and the first thing is there will be augmented reality. It looks like the initial parts from the first trailer of people interacting with Pokemon in the wild, while a bit dramatized for the commercial, is actually going to be true instead of what we saw at the end of that. Now, at the end of that commercial, it makes a lot of sense. You know, the game was in super early development at the time, and it just kind of showed a Pokemon in the field, which isn't much different from our DS. So actually a lot of people were quick to make videos on that, saying that this game will not be everything that we wanted. However, this gameplay demo that came out just a few days ago shows that this game is everything we wanted, honestly, because when you think about it, Pokemon Go is supposed to capture that going out into the wild, encountering a Pokemon, and capturing it, and having that work in the augmented reality kind of space is exactly what people were excited for. So people got upset when they kind of saw the end of the trailer, and then they realized that, hey, now this is it. So let's also go and throw out all of the other information that's going on with this game, because I wasn't aware of it. So I had my friend Jenna, who is in my Pokemon breeding guide as well. She's a good friend that helps out with a lot of things, and she wants me to get excited, and she wants everyone as excited for Pokemon Go as possible, which is why we want to go and see what's going on with it right now. So the first thing that's pretty big, everyone's wondering, how microtransaction filled is this game going to be? It's a free game. Like, it's going to be a free game. You can buy the Pokemon Go Plus to enhance your experience, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But for starters, no ads. The game is not going to have any ads, which is normally how free play games and apps work and stuff. You know, you run through ads or you do some kind of event and then ads will happen, and that's how the game is supported. So this news coming from a spokesman for Niantic, who is the developer of Ingress, who's also working on Pokemon Go, and you guys are probably familiar with that if you are into Ingress or something, because that's where a lot of this inspiration for Pokemon Go has come from, which is really nice. Now, the next little batch of news is going to come from the Pokemon Go press conference that was, you know, this was back in September, honestly. There's a YouTube video out there just talking about Pokemon Go and all the amazing things. But this is the news that we can kind of get from this so far. So for a while, this was all the information that we had on Pokemon Go, but now there's been like more Q&As and more development updates about what's going on. However, so we might as well go back to the basics, and I guess we might as well keep along with this whole no ads in Pokemon Go with Pokemon Go. Will it be pay to win? The answer from what we got from this conference is no. It will not be pay to win, and that's a pretty awesome thing. So the goal is to have many players support this free game. I think that that's the biggest thing that people need to understand before getting upset about this. Now, honestly, I think that that's the biggest thing that everyone interested in Pokemon Go needs to understand. This is a free game. And you think about the developers, they need to make some kind of money on this. Like, you can't just develop a game like this for free. Nothing in life is free to that kind of extent. So, I mean, you can't really get upset no matter what happens. A free game is going to have in-app purchases because that's the only way it can stay supported. And potentially, you know, with development updates or how far Pokemon Go is going to progress, there needs to be some kind of income coming in for this. It's not just there for you, only for you to enjoy this. No, you can't be selfish about it. So I think that that's one of the biggest things I also want to state about this, that there are going to be some microtransactions, but the plan is very small, very low demand kind of microtransactions that you can opt into. They say you can have the full gameplay experience, like you can have everything that the game has to offer without any payment whatsoever. So it's not going to be very payment heavy, and they're not focusing on several players to go heavy pay to win and then like buy everything that they need. No, it's not going to be like that. And I think that this is like Pokemon Shuffle. We actually got to see Pokemon Shuffle as one of the first like microtransaction app Pokemon games, and I would say that it's been very successful, but it kind of shows that, you know, Pokemon was understanding how they can get away with microtransactions and stuff, and Pokemon Shuffle is a game that you can beat without microtransactions, but it always makes it a little better. You know, if you put a small amount of money and you put a couple dollars here, and you're good to go, and that might be enough to get you through the entirety of the game. So that looks like the plan right here. Just a very small level of purchase for this entirely free, amazing Pokemon experience. So I don't think people should be getting upset about that, but I mean, the best part is ads. Like, if it's ads, yes, you can complain about that, you know, since ads can be very intrusive and suspension of disbelief gets really disrupted by that if you're about ready to catch Pikachu and you have to watch a video about Hot Pockets or something. So now let's go into the Pokemon Go Plus. So what it is going to be is a separate device that you will pay for. So it's kind of going to be if you pay for this, it's effectively like paying for the game, or at least paying for an add-on for the game. Now, we don't know much about it. It's a reasonable price, and it is going to be a benefit to using it, but not a massive, huge objective benefit. Just going to be quality of life improvement, and also it's going to work with your phone on a low power Bluetooth, so it's like you're playing the game from your Pokemon Go Plus device and using less battery, so you can get a potentially better experience from that. And then there's also a little bit of talk about Pokemon Go versus the actual Pokemon franchise. Pokemon Go is not here to try to cannibalize or be better than the main series games. They actually wanted to go the other way around. They want to where Pokemon Go is increasing sales, and it's trying to increase the audience of Pokemon because, yeah, a lot of people, they're fans of old school Pokemon, and we can kind of see that with the Pokemon Go commercial. This brought many millions and millions of old Pokemon fans that, they haven't been as up to date, they've grown up, or they have just not been able to keep up with the main series of Pokemon. But we can see that, in the first week, I believe, of the Pokemon Go commercial coming out, that there was over 10 million video views in days. It's amazing. And right now, we're over 20 million people have rediscovered Pokemon effectively through Pokemon Go, and that's a really amazing thing to see. So it seems if people that are already playing Ingress, or they don't have any involvement with Pokemon anymore, if they don't have time to commit to a game, they don't really like the way that the game flow of the main series franchises have gone. A lot of people do find that the current generations of Pokemon games, it's all repetitive. You play Pokemon Blue, it's the same as Silver, it's the same as Ruby, it's the same as you go through all the games, but this is a much different experience, and it works with people in their day-to-day mobile, smart device-driven lives. So this is still a way to keep in touch with Pokemon fans, while also maybe getting them back inspired. You play this enough, you love it, I'm gonna pick up Pokemon Sun and Moon now. So that's kind of the plan right here, and we can see that even with the Pokemon Sun and Moon trailer, while 7 million people have seen that in just 3 weeks, so it definitely hasn't been out as long as the Pokemon Go trailer that we've seen, but it's gotten less views in 3 weeks than the Pokemon Go trailer did in those 3 weeks, which I think is a big sign here that, Pokemon Sun and Moon, still big, the Pokemon franchise still growing massively for this 20th anniversary, but people are much more hyped about Pokemon Go because it doesn't have that huge commitment. It's just those older fans that are interested in wanting to get back into Pokemon, but that shows that this idea is really, really working. Another information bit that we got was Pokemon spawn. So Pokemon are going to spawn in different areas, and there will be exclusives, either by area, and they even mentioned by country. So some Pokemon are going to be exclusive to other countries. We don't have much information about how cross-trading goes, and I'll talk about that in a bit, but it's also going to be regional based, that if you are by the sea, you're going to see more water type Pokemon. If you're in a mountainous or more plains driven area, you're going to see more rock and ground Pokemon, or Pokemon that just makes sense to the region. That's absolutely fine. I think people might get upset about that they can't get their favorite Pokemon if they don't live in the right place, but that's how Pokemon is. You have to travel across the entirety of your Pokemon region that you're in to see different Pokemon. It's not like everything is accessible to you immediately. So I like that. It's very traditional to the whole thing, and I think that if people don't want to feel too privileged about the game, I think that might be one of the biggest faults that we have here. People need to understand that this game isn't here to give you everything. It's an experience. You're going to be enjoying Pokemon naturally. They don't have immediate access to every single thing that you want. Hopefully, people don't feel too privileged about this game. I think that that's going to be the big problem right here, is that you are going to be stuck with whatever region Pokemon you have, and there's going to still be a lot of overlap. You're probably going to find Pokemon no matter where you are in the world, but then you're going to have those exclusives. We don't know how the trading goes, but it's also kind of going back to the monetization of this game. This is a free game. It's the Pokemon Company trying to deliver the best Pokemon experience that we can currently provide on the smartphone is what it's looking like, or at least giving some kind of real-life integration, because there's a lot of passion and a lot of really cool features that are in this game that, again, I will eventually get to when we talk about this. So it's not going to be everything. You're not going to have everything handed to you. It's going to be very earned. It's also going to be very exclusive, so what you have is special, and not everyone else can have it. So it seems that that's going to be pretty nice. Now let's also talk about Pokemon Forts, because those have been said to be in the Pokemon Go app. So Ingress has portals. Now I don't know anything about Ingress, never played it, I don't even own a smartphone, might have to get one for Pokemon Go, but my friends have talked about, so there's different teams, you fight over portals, and that's points and stuff. Like I said, I don't really know, but there are going to be Pokemon Forts, and it seems like at this time we know that there's going to be at least 3 different teams that you can be a part of with your Pokemon Go app. So you choose a team, and then they battle over forts and stuff, and when you have control of a fort, it's said that it's going to be like a secret base. So in the secret base, you'll be able to battle, you'll be able to trade, and you'll be able to catch Pokemon in the Pokemon Fort. And I think that's pretty cool. It's like, oh, hey, real life secret bases. That's actually really cool on your app. So that's what we have for the information from the Pokemon Go conference video. Again, this information has been out there for a while, but if you haven't looked into it, because it's a long video, or if you haven't really understood all of the information, fortunately, we have it right here. Next up, we have an interview with some of the developers right here, and also just kind of getting extra information. So I will also link this whole post right here. VentureBeat. Very big amounts of information coming through with this one. So one of the big points from that is the more you walk, the more you are rewarded. This is a mobile app. This is about exploring, and that's one of the biggest emphasis, is that it's local exploration, that you're supposed to go out, explore your parks, explore landmarks, go and just see the areas of the town that you've never seen before. And the more you walk, the more rewards. I don't think there was any real explanation of like what specific rewards you get, but it might be Pokeballs. That might be how you find items, you know. You walk enough, it says, oh hey, here's an item, go catch Pokemon. Might find different kinds of Pokemons, there might be random events. We don't really know, but it just shows that this is a mobile app. You're supposed to get out there and actually make something happen instead of just being locked inside playing on your DS. And that reminds me of the Pokewalker. The Pokewalker was amazing, and I think that it's actually pretty cool that we're seeing a much larger expanse of this in Pokemon Go. But with the Pokewalker, the more steps you had, the more you could do. You could buy items, you can catch Pokemon. You also got to see different Pokemon. That rare Pokemon appeared if you got over a certain amount of steps, and it seems like there's going to be some kind of reward, encouragement, and just more exploration with the Pokemon Go app, and that's pretty cool. More information, gyms are confirmed, but we don't have too much more about that we don't know if it's going to be for AI purposes. We don't know if that you're going to be able to set up a gym, or if you're going to be able to like control a gym for that. There's not too much information about that at this time, but we'll figure it out at some point, which is pretty cool. But it looks like gyms are supposed to be a place where you get fast experience to level up your Pokemon in a really efficient manner, so we'll see how that ends up playing out. Virtual reality. Magic Leap is planning on being compatible with Pokemon Go. That's pretty ridiculous that if we see that, you know, real life engagement, we already have the augmented reality. So my understanding of Magic Leap is it's kind of like Google Glass, but better. So you have this set up to where, hey, I'm looking around, boom, Charizard's in my face and I get to throw Pokeballs at it. That would be really sick, and that's like exactly what this is exactly what every kid's dream of Pokemon was. It's like, I want the whatever virtual reality, you know, you're in a hologram room and Pokemon are flying around. That now we're going to have these interactions through augmented reality, and that's really awesome. So it looks like Magic Leap support is going to be a thing for that, and it gets really cool with that. There are also miscellaneous game mechanics and public interactions, that there are going to be live events on release. There's the 3 teams going on for it, and trading. Now, we don't know too much about trading. We don't know if there's going to be any global trading, which goes back to the region-exclusive Pokemon. That if there's region exclusives, you might have to meet someone from a different country to be able to trade for those Pokemon, but that could also be valuable right there, you know? You stockpile a lot of your local Pokemon, and that way if there's like some kind of event, you know, an anime convention, or if you fly across the country to see family, go to some kind of event right there. If you meet someone from outside the country that has the Pokemon Go app, there's a lot of really good trading potential right there that could be pretty big, and I would like to see that more than the whole GTS or some kind of global trading, that it's all about that real life interaction. You know, if someone from a different Pokemon region, like I live in Kanto, and then someone from Hoenn comes over and it's like, oh hey, I have Pokemon that you've never seen before, or that you don't have access to. And that would be really nice, because I don't want this to be a game of privilege. I don't want people to feel like that they can just pick up this game and have whatever they want. Everything needs to be earned. Everything needs to be exclusive and special. And this could be a really good way of keeping that interaction up and making it very interesting. So it's all going to be like real life interactions, and there's also going to be regular meetups, so trainers will have like competitive battling and trading areas, and you know, if you just have a meetup event going on, that could be pretty cool as well. So that's the information that we have about Pokemon Go, and it's looking very promising at this point. You know, I hope people aren't going to be like, oh, the graphics suck or something like that, because it's about the gameplay. And it's not, we're not at the point of where graphics can emulate real life Pokemon just yet on a very perfect scale, you know. That takes heavy amounts of hardware, and through the years, you know, as time goes on, this is the first step. This is a huge thing. We haven't had anything like this before, so naturally, if this is a success, which you need to make it a success, everyone that can play this game, I might try to get a smartphone. If I don't, you know, I'm just going to encourage as many people to play this game and enjoy it. The critical about it, but don't be hateful about it, you know? Give it criticisms that it needs to grow. Enjoy the game for what it is and not what it should be, because it will eventually be what it should be, like any natural game development. This is huge. This is virtual reality. We are making these huge technological leaps right now. We're a couple years off until it becomes perfect, so it's not going to be that way, especially off the bat for this immediate Pokemon Go thing that, you know, we don't really know too much about. So I'm excited to see all this. It's looking like a real-life Pokemon experience, which is what everyone wants. So if you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a nice day, thank you for watching.